and I am back like I never left. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. We're here to talk about, well, all kinds of stuff. But today, well, before I get, so the last time we spoke, I was talking about me being in transition. As you could see, again, things look different. Not the same as before, not the same as last time or the time before that. Very much, but this might be the permanent setup. For a number of different reasons, but I'm not going to get into that because that's not really important for you. But this might be the setup. So yeah, the last time when we spoke, I was talking about the transition, leaving Arizona and being where I am now, which is still, that information is on Do Not Disturb right now. So, I don't know. We just got to see. Sometimes I can be weirdly withholding. Well, not weirdly. I know why. Just certain boundaries, just certain boundaries. But anyway, so I had something happening. I started working out again. Now I already expressed how I started working out again, right? But I started working out after I took like 3 weeks off because of all the travel. It's hard to kind of maintain your schedule and doing certain stuff when you're, doing like cross country travel and stuff. And I went to the gym the other day. It was cool. Just I got a new membership. Went in there, just getting familiar with the equipment and stuff as it stands in this new place. And it's just so funny because this is the first time I had this realization. This is the first time that I was in a big gym that's, really what I'm used to. But, since 2020 and everything was shut down. So it's been almost 3 years. It's now 2023. Hey, happy 2023. But it's been, essentially 3 years since I've been in that environment. So it's kind of like, it wasn't a shock, but there was this, overwhelmment isn't even correct. But I was whelmed. I was a little whelmed. Because, I'm in a new place. I'm used to like 24-hour fitness, or I'm used to the fitness nation, by my house in Texas or whatever. So it's just kind of, it's kind of interesting. So I'm going in this place and I'm, getting set up and just kind of getting the lay of the land. And it's funny because I was a little uncomfortable, not because of being in that environment for the first time in 3 years, but like my vision, like my eyes, the way that they were focused, because I'm in such a large space again, and there's stuff there's actually, several meters away, and it's not just like my apartment gym was, the apartment gym, they're like, you can fit 12 people in there versus a couple of hundred people. So there's a lot more space, there's a lot more stuff going on, and just getting used to the sheer number of people that's in there, and like, the different equipment you want to use, and like remembering my old training regimens and all these things and things I've written down that I've written years ago, and it's just kind of coming back to me, right? So it was an interesting experience because of, I'm kind of picking up where I left off. I was in a certain place before, and now I'm just like, hey, okay, I'm ready to start this again, but this time with a different energy, with a different vigor, because of everything that I've been through, everything that I've experienced over the last couple of years. So it's going to be, I did a when I take a break from the gym, whether it's just a few weeks or a few months or whatever, I like to start with like a full body thing. I like to get everything sore, because that way when I recover, then everything's recovered, then I can like start doing things that I normally do. But it was cool. So I did a full body thing. I just went in there, did some chest. I didn't even do a lot. And that's the funny thing. And the other interesting thing, again, it's been 3 weeks now. 3 weeks isn't a whole lot of time to take off from the gym, just to rest and but I think more so what it was that I was using free weights again, like the bench press instead of the chest press machine. And anytime you're using free weights versus a machine, there's it works stabilizer muscles more because you have to hold all the weight. So you're holding it and all the little muscles are doing stuff to versus a press machine, which is very, very stable and you just kind of working that one thing. So it was cool just to see like, okay, I did like one set of bench press, and I the next day I was like, oh, my chest is sore, just from that one little set of bench press. And like, it's exciting because I feel like I'm starting over, but I'm starting over from a higher plateau. I'm not the new Johnny that I was when I first started working out. Like I've got experience, I've got a foundation, but I'm kind of starting again with with things that I used to do, and I'm able to do again. So um, it's very, very exciting. So just being in that environment again, my eyes were adjusting. I have astigmatism, so so I'm looking at things they just look weird, man. They look weird. Um, but there was I just kind of had this moment where I started to feel like, then I'm getting phone calls and and it's like there was a lot happening, but I really wanted to hone in on what I was doing, in that moment, starting up in the gym again and preparing, and it reminds me of times when there's something that we're wanting to do, right? Maybe something we haven't done in a long time. And you might have to just take a minute, take a moment and just get still, just be still, be quiet. So you can focus your energies. It's one of those things where if you're just acting from, that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just everything's going on. Everything's really, it's popping off. Things are real sporadic. You just like, oh, you got to just get still, sit still, hone in so you can do what you came to do and do it well. It's just a good practice on, it's a good practice on focus. And just when you're focused on something and then the lack of it, like it's very noticeable. And a lot of times we can do things from the unfocused side of that polarity. And there's a notable difference in how well things go when you're distracted by everything and versus when you're honed in. I think you're like, oh, I had a good workout. Like, what makes a workout good or not so good? And it's just like how focused you are. Are you on the little mini computer, aka your cell phone? Most of the time, half the time, or are you, getting your sets and everything, and your reps and all that kind of stuff, and then, taking your short rest, minute rest, and getting back to it. And it's just like, yeah, you might spend an hour and a half in the gym, but like how much of that time actually was spent training, versus, looking down at your phone or listening to music or being distracted by the TVs or the cute girl that walked by or whatever the case may be, right? So like, ooh. So there's the focus makes all the difference, and in what you're doing. So it was just cool. I'm excited to get back. I'm excited to get back in and start going regularly because there's some people that I'm going to be training, and I'm really excited to see the progress as the weeks and months go by, because there are things that have been desired for a long time. And for me, it's just like, I think seeing people reach their goals or transform in certain ways is really satisfying, because I know for me, that's how it was for me, to feel that, oh, I'm really satisfied with what with what I've accomplished, with what I've done. And it just feels really good, the confidence that you get from that, and just that feeling of, hey, I can take care of me. If something pops off, I can handle business, or that intimidation factor. Not that I want to be intimidating, but it's there a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just like, look, I ain't no pushover now. You know what I mean? But but it's there though. So I forgot to tell you, I did it. Well, I said it. I mentioned it last week that I was going to do an interview. So I did the interview on my brother's channel. If you want to check it out, I think I can link it. Don't quote me on that. But I think I can link it or something so you can watch it if you're interested. But give me some time. And I know I keep asking for time, but there's a lot of moving parts. And I'm finally starting to get on. You never know how long things are going to take. And I know I've talked about this before, but you kind of never know how long things are going to take to move from one form to the other. So just being able to be flexible, to be like water, like Bruce Lee said. Because you never know exactly how long they're going to take before to change from one form to the next. But I'm getting a handle on things, and as far as like where I'll be moving, after this, or how I'll be moving. I think that I'm going to start adding back some elements of like fitness to the channel. Well, I say adding back, but this is a part of me that that's always been there, but adding it to or putting it on display. Maybe that's the more accurate way, putting it on display. Because there's, knowledge that I have, information I have, and I'm kind of, while I'm not starting from zero again, but I am kind of starting from a more foundational place, not as high up as I used to be. So, you be able to kind of see the journey as it unfolds, along with, the spiritual stuff and all the other things that I enjoy, talking about. So this is just it's a new thing, and it's cold where I'm at. So I'm kind of learning. I've been living in states that are like forever spring, forever summer. I mean, not literally, but it's more like that, where it's sunny, most of the time, or it's, 70, 80 degrees, or, at the lowest kind of like, at nighttime, 40 or 50 degrees, but not 40 or 30 degrees at 3 p.m. You know what I mean? So, and I noticed that I tend to move slower in cold environments because I'm not used to. I've been avoiding these types of places for the last decade. So, and it's just getting used to being in that kind of environment again. It's just like, oh, it's taxing for me. And I was unaware. Again, I purposely haven't lived in these types of places for a long time. So I'm getting used to that. And even the way that I like to dress, which is like shorts and sandals and t-shirts most of the time, like that's just very comfortable for me. But having to wear stuff like long sleeve and pants, like what? Pants, long sleeves? This is weird. This is weird for me. So yeah, so it's, but I promise, I know things are kind of a little funky right now, but I promise it's going to get exciting again, or maybe exciting for the first time. I don't know, depending on your perspective, but I'm going to continue to make content about different things. I think I'm starting to get back into a flow, starting, making content on things because I wanted, that was my goal, to just be consistent and on this so I can grow channel and build it and everything. And to do that, I have to make content and not get frustrated and persevere when things aren't how I'm used to them being. So this is just, this is one of those things. So thank you for joining me. This has been challenging for me, but I'm pushing through the best way that I know how. And I just want to keep posting at least once a week because it's keeping me do it, because I can very easily just disappear and go away for a year and then not say anything. So like, this is me, you know, ooh, so that I don't do that. But yes, but please again, bear with me. It is happening. Things are happening. Videos are being made. Have a great new year. I'm staying free in 2023. I'm Johnny Jupiter. And remember, there is no outro.